Sairam, we have a very special guest today to speak to us on this occasion of Aradhana Day, our very own Dr. Narendranath Reddy, the chairman of the Sathya Sai International Organization. He is a very, very long time devotee of Swami, with over 4 generations of his family having been close to Swami, and he himself have come to Swami at the age of 5. He is an internist and endocrinologist in Southern California, having practiced there for over 40 years. And I'm so glad that he's here to share his thoughts with us on this beautiful occasion and to share the love of Swami with all of us, including today we have audience from around the world. I would like to welcome everybody. Over to you, Dr. Reddy.
Thank you, Shrikant. With love and gratitude, I offer my prayerful pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dearest, sweetest, loving, and omnipresent Lord Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. It is wonderful to see Swami's darshan in all the 3 Punya Kshetras, the holy places in the Prashanti Nilayam and Vrindavan and Kodaikanal, and it reminds me of my sweet memories when we were with Swami in Kodaikanal in 1994. First, I would like to offer my gratitude to Bhagavan and all of you for this opportunity to share his love and message with you on this special day. This is the day when Sathya Sai devotees all over the world offer their love and gratitude by singing his glories, by sharing his leelas, the divine sports, the stories, and also they get involved in the divine works, divine mission, and also dive deep into the Swami's teachings and practice. This is the 4 ways we can express our gratitude: singing his glories and participating in his mission, and also studying his teachings and practicing and listening to his stories, which is Sai Bhagavatam. 9 years ago, on April 24, 2011, on the Holy Easter Day, Swami decided to leave his physical form. Because it's very important to remember, God decides when to enter and exit. That is why it is not called pravesham. That means God, when he enters the human body or when he is born, it is called pravesham. He comes and he decides when he is going to exit. So he decided that Holy Easter Day, which signifies the love and sacrifice he has made for all of us, the whole humanity. And also it signifies how that is the day when Swami awakened the Sai consciousness in all of us, wherein we can feel him wherever we are, which transcend the barriers of time, space, and causation. Then he became our eternal companion. He was with us, he is with us, and he will be with us. Because he's repeatedly said that he has no birth and no death. Lord Krishna beautifully says in Gita, Avyaktam Vyaktamapanyam Manyante Mam Abuddhaya Parambhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. These ignorant people, dull-headed people think, I am the manifest in this body. I am the universal unmanifest reality. I am that, and these people are not able to realize that. And Swami also has said this in many discourses and in private, I am not this body. I am that all-pervading reality. Then, who is this Sai? And we say he is God. And God is infinite. So infinite Lord cannot be comprehended by the finite mind, speech, and intellect and body. So that is why the scriptures say, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. God is the supreme reality which can't be comprehended by the mind or expressed in the speech. And Swami himself said in this landmark discourse on May 17, 1968, everybody should read this. This is in the First World Conference in Mumbai. Swami says, this is Sarva Devata Swarupa. Swami said, this is the human form in which all divine principles, all divine entities, that is to say, all names and forms attributed by man to God are manifest. And he cautioned us, never allow any doubt to distract you from this. That is why we also chant that Sarvarupa Dharam Shantam, Sarvanama Dharam Shivam. He is all names and he is all forms. It is not just a saying, it is really the truth that he is all names and all forms. So I want to send, this is a personal experience. So my father, so one time saw Swami as a blue complexioned Krishna. A lot of you have many experiences. I want to relate in our own family. My mother saw Swami as Sri Ramakrishna because she was initiated by the Ramakrishna order. And then she had a doubt whether she's doing the right thing coming to Swami. Then one day Swami came and showed her he's same as Sri Ramakrishna. And my wife, a chosen deity from her young days, is Lord Venkateshwara, Balaji. And she had also little dilemma sometimes. And when she went one time to the Seven Hills and had the darshan of Lord Venkateshwara in the sanctum sanctorum, what does she see? She opens her eyes. In place of that Murti, she sees our beautiful Lord Swami, Anupama Sundara. So he is all names and forms. Not only that, Swami himself said he is in every atom, cell, and moment. Anu, that means every atom. Kana, kanamu, every cell. And chanamu, every moment. Everything is permeated by the divine. Sarva Khalvidam Brahma. This is not just a saying. I remember the beautiful incident. Once Swami was with devotees and he showed a piece of rock. He asked the devotees what it is. So somebody said it is a stone, and somebody said it contains sand. And there was a scientist, geologist also was there. He said, Swami, it is silica, calcium carbonate. Swami smilingly listened to all this. And then suddenly Swami said, see, and then there comes the beautiful idol, sugar idol of Lord Krishna. Swami said, see, divinity is present in everything. Not only divinity, sweetness. So every part, because the whole creation has come out of him. Vishwam, Vishwamayam Jagat. So not only in humans, plants, animals, in so-called inanimate, everything is permeated by the divine. That is the revelation Swami made in his discourse on May 17th, 1968. And second thing is 1998 Christmas discourse. Swami beautifully said, somebody asked you, who is Sai Baba? And Swami said, sing this bhajan. A lot of you know that bhajan. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. You see that again he's emphasizing. He has no beginning, no end, no birth, no death. We should have complete conviction. He is our eternal companion. And he said, who is he? Love is my form. He wants us to remember, because Swami says God is love is God, live in love. And the best way to see God is only through love. Swami said the example of moon. How do you see the moon? Only through the moonlight. Similarly, God who is love, we can see only through love. That is why Swami's life, his message, his ideals, his humanitarian works, all can be just enshrined in one word, love. And second is, he says, truth is my breath. That is why Swami said, somebody asks you what I am Sathya Bodhaka. I teach the truth and truth shall free you up. That is what Swami is. And then he said, bliss is my food. We'll come to that. So how Swami is Ananda Swarupa. This is the second revelation Swami made who he is. And third one was on 19th June 1974. Who is Sai? Swami was talking about that name Sai Baba. He said, Sa means divine, Ai means mother, Baba is father. So he is our divine mother and father. And he is Sathya Sai Baba. That means truly he is our divine mother and father. Swami said you have your physical parents, so they may be an iota of selfishness. He says mine is pure, unconditional, unalloyed love. That is what Swami is. We say he is love of infinite mothers. He always showers his love. He guides us, guards us, protects us, corrects us, cajoles us. So that is the mother and father we have in Sai. Whenever you think of Sai Baba, think we have our parent always. So not we may lose physical parents, but his divine parent, father and mother, is always with us. So I want to share an anecdote how Swami takes care of us. This happened about 20 years ago. My mother and father are the command of Swami, which is guidance. They used to live with us in Arcadia, California. And then my father one day suddenly got extensive seizures, convulsions, and he became unconscious. We called the ambulance. Fortunately, the paramedics came right away, and we took to the hospital, which is very close by 5 minutes. Then I have a lot of friends who are doctors. So once he was admitted, because he was past 70, at that age, somebody has convulsions. They said it could be either a brain tumor or it could be a stroke. So they felt the prognosis was very poor. So meanwhile, my mother was panicky. She didn't come to the hospital, but she went into her puja room and holding on to Swami's feet was praying. By Swami's grace, so which we thought he may not even recover, so we found the cause for his convulsions was low sodium in the blood because he was on a very strict low salt diet. Then once the intravenous saline, the salt was given, within 24 hours he recovered. Within 2 days he could come home. So we were all very happy and jubilant. And then when we went to see see Swami in Prashanti Nilayam, we expressed gratitude to Swami for saving my father's life. Then Swami said beautifully one thing, how can I not do that? Your mother was holding on to my feet so tightly in the puja room. This is to show that Swami is with us wherever we are. With longing and love, we hold on to his feet. Wherever we are, he says he will take care of that. He gave that kind of assurance. Why fear when I am here? So this is Sai is our mother and our father. So when we have him, when we have his Sai name on our lips, this is the, we also published in our satsai.org website. So this is a letter written by Swami to the teachers and students in Vrindavan. Please, all of you read. It's a very profound statement. Swami says, the one who has Sai name on his lips is a Jivan Mukta. Watch it. It's worthwhile like a mantra, remember. The one who has Sai names on his lips is a Jivan Mukta. That means we are liberated while alive. And he continues to say that one who repeats his name, they get self-realization and they become one with Swami. That is Swami. So now I can finish my talk because you have Sai's name, you are realized, and then Jivan Mukta. That is the whole purpose of the goal of life. Then we are talking about the name Sai. Swami sings this beautiful bhajan, Pebare Ramarasam. In that means drink the nectar of the divine name of Rama. And there he makes Sakala Agama Nigamagama Saram. Who is Rama? He is the essence of all the Vedas, the scriptures, Shastras, everything is the essence is there in his name. For me, in that name of Sai is there the whole source of love, all our spiritual practices, including the goal of love. So just I want to dilate on that with the name of Sai itself. So once we have Sai Baba, who is truly our divine mother and father, what happens? Because he takes care of us. We know start loving him more and more. Then it becomes SAI. So we give priority to Swami in our life. Yes, Swami first, A, all others next, then little I, our ego, last. So our priorities change. As Swami says, there are two kinds of people. There are some like houseflies. What do houseflies do? They go and sit in the delicious dishes sometimes, and they sit on the garbage sometimes. Whereas honeybees, they go only for the nectar, the honey only. Similarly, there are spiritual seekers who only think about God. They talk about God, hear about God, see God, walk God, and drink God, eat God, everything that's saturated with the divine love. Whereas a lot of us, Swami says, part-time devotees, pray sometime, but we want full-time benefits. Swami says part-time devotion, but full-time benefits. That doesn't work out. So you need to have that complete surrender or complete devotion to Swami as the priority. Then you take about all of your other responsibility. Once we give the priority to Swami in life, what happens? We all get transformed. All of us can see how we were 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Now, Swami slowly molds us. That is why he calls us Bangaru. That means like a goldsmith making the gold pure. He's trying to get rid of the impurities. That is the transformation he brings about. Here also Sai stands for what? These are all Swami's words. Yes, for spiritual transformation. A for association transformation. I for individual transformation. So Swami says, then we start practicing the human values. Swami says, this is not EHV, education and human values. This is 3HV. That means we get transformation of our head, heart, and hands. How do you behave? Swami beautifully said, then you will behave like a head of Adi Shankara, who was the great master of Advaita, where always he emphasized discrimination. Sat, asat. What is real? What is unreal? Shreyo marg, preyo marg. Is it something which is pleasing for me, or is it good for me? And also pravritti marga, nivritti marga. Is it outward going or inward going? So always use this discrimination from your head. That is like Adi Shankara. Then heart of a Buddha was full of love and compassion for all beings. His kindness was overflowing. No limit for his kindness. So we should have heart of a Buddha. And hands of a Janaka. Janaka, the great king, is also called Vaideha. That means he never had body consciousness. And Swami said he did his duty of a king with complete detachment and love. That is the way we should use our head, heart, and hands. This becomes the integration of all the three yogas. So this is what Swami said. Now coming to the three yogas. So we have gave priority to Swami. Now we have got transformation. Next, Swami showed us the three ways to get out of bondage. As once I was talking about, we are all caught up in the World Wide Web, www. Everybody is caught up in that. And Swami showed the same three W's how to get out. What is that? Work, worship, and wisdom. So same thing in Swami's name itself, it is there, SAI. S for service, that is Karma Yoga, selfless service. A for adoration, the path of love, that is Bhakti Yoga. I for illumination, the path of Jnana Yoga. I'll briefly touch because this is extensively Swami talked about it. Just I will touch a few points. One is regarding service. We all involved, Sai organization is involved in various service activities. We provide food, we provide water, clothes, shelter, education, and medical services to the needy people all over the world. But Swami extended service could be much more than that. It could be much subtler. You use a kind and loving words to somebody, that is service. Or even a kind gesture, you make smiling, giving a little pat on somebody's back for good thing, that makes them happy also. And also another thing is prayers we do for other people. That is a service. And loving thoughts you have, that is a service. So service could be extended. So we should not feel, oh, I am home, I'm not able to service. Service could be done wherever you are. And that's what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, when somebody said, you don't do service because you are staying one place. He said, how do you know? These powerful thoughts itself permeating the universe can be a lot of service. In my personal case, I can tell you one more incident. One time, Swami gave a series of discourses on Shirdi Baba in Telugu. It was not translated in English. So my mother tongue being Telugu, I wanted to translate. And Swami, I want to do this as a service project. Swami right away stopped and said, that is not a great service. Service is find out who you are. That is the greatest service. Swami showed finding ourselves true nature. That itself is the greatest service we can do. That is why Swami gave a beautiful definition. We call service in Sanskrit para upakara, paropakara. Swami divided. Para means God, upa means close. Anything, anybody which takes you close to God, that is all service. Whether yourself coming close to God or you make other people come close to God by your example of your life or by doing service or by talking about the leelas of the Lord. Anybody you bring together, that also becomes service. But then how do you do the service? The attitude is important. That is what Swami says for a spiritual seeker, with what attitude you do. Number one, sakala karma bhagavat prityatam. Whatever work we do, we should do to please the Lord. Will Swami be pleased with what I am doing? Second thing is, whatever work we do, the results we should offer to him. Karma phala pradad. We need to give the fruits of our action, surrender at his feet. But next step is to see that we are really not serving somebody else, seeing really God in the person we are serving. That is why Swami calls it Narayana Seva. When you do Narayana Seva, two things we need to get rid of, Swami says. Two major problems, two obstacles. One is ahankara and mamakara, ego and attachment. This is very important. And in this time, I can tell you one thing. We said, Swami said to do service in addition to our regular work. But that is in the beginning stages. Then one stage, Swami says, try to divinize everything. All work becomes God's work. Telugu, he said beautifully, Unnadi okate karma, adi bhagavat karma. That means there is only one work that exists, that is God's work. One time it happened, my wife, she's a physician, and she had responsibility to take care of the children, take them to school, and also she is practicing pediatrics. And so she has really balanced her life between family life and taking care of children and her career. And I was not a great help at home. So she expressed, Swami, that I'm not having enough opportunity for spiritual practices. Swami gave a profound message which is applicable to all of us. Number one, Swami said, when you are serving your children and you are serving your husband, think you are serving God. You are serving Swami. That's the number one. Divinize everything. Second thing is, when you are working in the kitchen at home, when you are vacuuming and you take away the dirt, think you are taking away the impurities from your heart. Then when you are cutting the vegetables, think you are cutting the ego. And then when you are doing chapati, rolling the bread, think you are making your heart broad, filling it with love. What is more to spirituality? Seeing God in everything, getting rid of the ego, and getting rid of the impurities, and filling with love. So that is how Swami shows divinizing everything. And this is about service. Now I'll go to adoration, because we can talk about service itself for hours, but because of the limitation of time, so I'll go to adoration. That is next. Sai is service, adoration. That is Bhakti Yoga. Swami says that is the easiest and best yoga for this Kali age. That is why the first Vahini of the 16 Vahinis he wrote was Prema Vahini. Because Swami says God is love, love is God, and the best way to reach God is only through love. So that is why Swami emphasized that. But when you have love, you need to have that intense longing. One time I asked Swami, how do I know I have bhakti? Swami says, Niku tivra paritapam unte bhakti. You have intense longing, intense hunger, thirst for God. That means we have bhakti. That is very important to have intense longing. And Swami said, if you have intense longing, he gave the example. This Parikshit, King Parikshit, he was cursed to die within 7 days. So he made use of that 7 days to listen to the Leelas of the Lord Krishna, and he was liberated. 7 days. Then Swami went on to say, you don't even need 7 days. There was a great king called Katwanga, Raja Katwanga. You can verify in Bhagavata Vakini and Bhagavatam. This man came to know he had only few minutes to live, not few days, few hours, few minutes to live. Once he knows he is going to die, then he right away completely focused his love on the Lord, intensified, and he was liberated. So the main thing is to have that intensity. Once we have the intensity, we automatically be completely surrendered to him. That's why when Gita Swami says 3 important shlokas to talk, all the 3 talk about only Sharanagati. First one, I don't have time. Karpanya dosho upahata swabhava. This is in chapter 2, where Arjuna surrenders to Lord Krishna. Then only Lord Krishna starts giving the message. Till then, Arjuna goes on crying, I don't want to do this. Then in the 9th chapter, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. It applies to all of us. Anybody who thinks about me all the time, I will take care of their welfare. I will take care of them. He gave that assurance. So we should feel that. And the final thing, this is the most important, Swami said in the chapter 18. This is the called Charma Shloka by the Vaishnavites. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja ahantva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami masuchira. Oh, my son, so once you completely surrender to me, think about me only. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. You can't have multiple people you surrender. Mam ekam, only to me you surrender. What will I do? I will get rid of all your sins are gone. All your grief and anxiety is gone. And I will give you moksha itself, the ultimate. So through service you get the moksha, and through adoration. And finally, the most important is illumination. I, S-A-I, S for service, A for adoration, Bhakti Yoga, I for illumination, Jnana Yoga. Swami says, Advaita Darshanam Jnanam. What is Jnana? Is seeing only one, not two, not second, only oneness. And here, Swami we are so fortunate, he expounded this as Jnana in many of his Vahinis, particularly I will specify Jnana Vahini, and this is called Prasthana Trayam, 3 Vahinis. One is Gita Vahini, Upanishad Vahini, and Sutra Vahini. And the summation of all that, quintessence of all that, is in Sathya Sai Vahini. People who are really serious thinkers or serious seekers, I would advise, this is really quintessence of all Vedanta is there. What is that Swami says beautifully in Telugu, because sometimes we need to have, this is God's words. Swami said this is very beautiful. Kanula kagapadu drushyambu kanchimiru satyamani madi enchaka sambramamuna teranudagina satyambu telusukonaga vishraminpaka natodi vedalurandu. Seeing what you are in front of your eyes, don't be deluded. See the truth behind the scene. What is that? Yeddi kaladanu chuntimo addi ledu. Yeddi ledanu chuntimo addi kaladu. Unnadokkati daivambu yannadiki leni dayyanu vishwambu kanaraya. You may be thinking why he is bothering with Telugu, but this is God's words. So it is, I could translate. He says, what you think exists doesn't exist. What you think doesn't exist exists. What does exist? Exists only one thing, that is God. So whatever you are thinking as the universe, as the world, is your illusion, your Brahma. So it is not really true. That is why Swami emphasized in those Vahinis, remember this ultimate fundamental truth. Swami says this is the highest we all aim for. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaina Paraha. God alone is real. Everything this world is illusion, and you are nothing but divine. So we need to keep this in mind and dive deep and reach the bliss inside. There also, in the name itself, we have the answer. What is his name? Sai Baba. S-A-I. See always inside. Our mind and senses go outwards. This is the time to go inside and contemplate. S-A-I. See always inside. What do you see? Baba. B-A-B-A. Being A for awareness, B for bliss, and A for Atma. Satchidananda, that ultimate formless reality which is knowledge, existence, and bliss. So for that we need to see always inside, then you experience that Satchidananda. For that, Swami gave us a beautiful formula. This is given, please also refer to that, in 1983 on the birthday discourse, November 23rd. Swami gave this formula. So just you do these prayers, you will be realized. What is this? Nenu daivambu tad bhinnamemi kanu. I am God. I am not different from God. Nenu akhanda parabrahmame avdu nenu. I am the indivisible, infinite Parabrahma. Vyadhakleshamul nannu sprushimpa. Grief, anxiety, worries cannot touch me. Satchidananda me tad bhinnamemi kadu. I am the Satchidananda. Then he beautifully says, Nitya Truptunda Bhiti nan cherabodu. I am ever content. Fear can never come near me. Fear can never come near me. And then he says, Ullama paluku om tatsat sanusu. Oh mind, say om tatsat, because that is the representation of Parabrahman. Om by itself, tat, we always sing in Sarvadharma prayer, om tatsat. So just say that and you will be having that inward experience. So how to go inside and then dive deep and follow and repeat these prayers. Swami says, go on repeating these prayers. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Go on thinking, you will become Brahman. You go to the discourse, you will self-realize. Then what will happen? You will get that bliss. We talk about B. Swami talked about bliss is my food. What is bliss? That is Brahmananda. Swami said, we all say, oh, I had Brahmananda, I had wonderful good food. Oh, I have Brahmananda. Or I say, I saw a nice movie, Brahmananda. Or nice music. That is not Brahmananda. That is a temporary pleasure. Swami quoting the Brahmananda Valli in Taittiriya Upanishad, he talks beautifully about this Brahmananda in his discourse in 2000, May 23rd in Vrindavan. He says, the unit of bliss is called Manushyananda. That means a person who is youthful, handsome, physically strong, with all the good health, wealth, scholarship, and a good character. That is called unit of happiness, Manushyananda. 1,000 times that is Gandharvananda. 1,000 times that is Devananda. 1,000 times that is Bruhaspati Ananda. 1,000 times that is Prajapati Ananda. 1,000 times that is Brahmananda. You see, Swami says, you guys downplay what Brahmananda is. This is 10 to the power of 15 of Manushyananda is Brahmananda. Somebody calculated, one of my friends, it is 1,000 trillion, that means quadrillion times. That means something we can't even understand. That's why when people are in bliss, they won't tell in the words. It's one of the Upanishads, in Vedas, it says when the disciple is happy, he cannot even express in words. That is the state you come. And that is Sai. That is why then you become SAI. What is that? Swami, Sai and I are one. That is the ultimate stage. When you have that going inside, you are in touch with that, repeating these affirmative prayers, you are in touch with Brahmananda, which is nothing but Sai. Then you become last Sai. Yes, A-I. Sai and I are one. So I'm happy I had this time to dwell in the name of Sai, which is the essence of all scriptures. As I said, just you have his name on our lips. Swami said you will become a Jivan Mukta. So we don't need to worry about any other great rituals, practices, or our scriptural studies. Repeat his name and practice his teachings. So I pray to Swami to bless all of us with dedication, devotion, detachment, determination, discrimination, so that we love him and serve him and his creation till our last breath. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for that wonderful exposure into Swami's teachings and the Vahinis, and it was simply power-packed with a lot of messages in there for us to learn from Swami's personal teachings and the love that you shared. at a very personal level with Swami as well. On that note, I'm hoping you are available to take a few questions where you can give us your thoughts on some things I have put together to ask you. So there are different types of love in the world. One important thing which Swami always asks us to focus on is developing divine love. How does one go about developing divine love? Over to you.
Sai Ram. So first, Swami said we need to understand what divine love is, because we glibly talk about love, but Swami beautifully said, what is divine love? Divine love is eternal, is all the time there. It is unconditional, it is selfless, and is pure. In contrast to worldly love, which is temporary, which is conditional, which is selfish, and which is impure. So from this selfish love, you need to go to divine love. And Swami makes it very simple. Love is selflessness, and self is lovelessness, and love gives and forgives. So that is what we should understand divine love. So Swami says, why are we not able to develop divine love? So number one obstacle is, Swami says, get rid of these weeds from your mind. Number one is, don't find faults in others. That is a great obstacle to develop divine love. He says, whatever faults you see in others, however big they are, make them insignificant. And however small the defects you have in you, faults, make them big, and repent, be saddened, and try to correct your own faults. That is the way to develop the pure love, divine love, which is parabhakti. Then you become one with God. That is one thing. Second thing is, Swami says, always practice the omnipresence of God. Because to always think, Swami repeatedly said, there is only one God, is omnipresent, only one religion, religion of love. So wherever you are, you always should see that Swami is with you, in you, above you, besides you. You need to practice that. His eyes are everywhere. And this is not just a saying. A lot of us devotees, we have experienced that many, many times. What the conversation I had in my house in Los Angeles, when I go to Prashanti, Swami relates. We can go on talking about this, but practice the omnipresent. Omnipresence is not only he's in everything, everywhere, ever, but he's in us too. I can tell you a nice incident about that. So when the childhood, I used to be a devotee of Shirdi Baba. So when I came to Swami, so I knew the Swami is Shirdi, same as Sathya Sai, but still I had that love and attachment to Shirdi form. So in my puja room, when I used to offer flowers and put flowers first to Shirdi Baba and then only to Swami. Then I asked Swami, because I said, Swami, I first offered to Shirdi and then only to you. Is it anything wrong? Swami was very, said, no, nothing wrong. It is the same. If you want, you can put on your head also. That is also okay. So I thought Swami is teasing me. Then after contemplation, I realized that he wants to see your Sai within ourselves shining forth. That is what he wants. But right away, he didn't say that, but after contemplation, it revealed. That's why Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he was a priest in the Dakshineshwar, he was so much intoxicated, he used to put the flower on his own head, and the temple heads were very annoyed, but he was so intoxicated, he became one with Kali. So Swami showed that if you really have divine love, you will not only see God outside, but you see within yourself. That is why Swami says, don't seek God, see God with eyes open and eyes closed. So he is outside us, inside us. So these are the two ways how we can develop love, is not finding faults in others. That is why Swami says, when you show one finger at somebody, three fingers are showing towards you. That is why even Jesus said, don't look at the speck in somebody else's eye, look at the beam in your own eye. That is why there is a great disease for a lot of people. So first we need to see we get rid of this sickness, which is an obstacle for divine love, and always practice the omnipresence of God, and have satsang like this, where people of similar mentality, where they talk about God his leelas, that reinforces divine love, because people have the same mentality. When you get together, our love reinforces. That is why it is called Bhagavatam. I'm happy you in USA you started the Sai Bhagavatam series, because that is the one. That is why I told the example of the person Parikshit. He heard the Bhagavatam just 1 week, he was liberated. And this man, Katwanga, even few minutes, he could liberate it. We need to, that because Bhagavatam, everybody should, I will also advise read Bhagavata Vahini, because with that, you can get everything. Swami says, Bha, you'll get Bhakti, Ga, you get Jnanam, Va, you get Vairagyam, dispassion, and Tha, Tattvam, you know the reality of the yourself, and finally Mu, Mukti. So you'll get everything. Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, and ultimately Mukti, and knowing your real nature. So that is why the divine love, Swami says, we also had the theme conference, love is the source, love is the path, and love is the goal. That is how we do the divine love.
That's beautiful, Dr. Reddy. Not criticizing others and at the same time practicing the omnipresence of the Lord. And I think it's so symbolic that we are talking about this on Aradhana Day, particularly on a day when Swami chose to leave his physical form, but in a way, it forced us to look for him inside us, not look for him outside, which is such a beautiful concept. And thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. On the same note, by virtue of living in the world, we get praise, we get blame, we get criticism, we get challenges, all the different things which hit us from all directions. And to stay grounded all this by virtue of being at Swami's feet, how do we better handle criticism and challenges which come to us in day-to-day life?
Yes, that is very good point. Criticism is part of life. So actually it starts from home. Your own spouse could be critical of you, your children could be critical of you, your parents could be critical of you, people could be critical of you at the work, in the society, in the organization. So we have to first make it fact that criticism is part of life. Like Lord Krishna says, Anityam Asukam, this world is temporary and full of pain. So criticism is a part of life. But Swami says for a spiritual seeker, this is very good because it cleanses your heart of the impurities. So it is one of the methods is to, whenever somebody criticizes you, if you don't react, it cleans your impurities. And second thing is, Swami says, when somebody criticizes you, there may be really a fault in you. You may not be aware. If there is, please take care of that, correct. That man is doing you a favor so that you correct yourself. And second thing is, Swami says, if there is no fault in you and somebody is criticizing, so then this actually is doing a favor. Their good karma comes to you, their punya comes to you, your papa, your bad karma goes to them. So they're really doing a favor in building your spiritual bank balance. So we should not react to the criticism that is part of life. And Swami himself was an example. When he was young, so many people were critical of him, not only in other parts of the India, but even near Puttaparthi, Prashanti Nilayam. And they were sometimes criticizing Swami in the bus stand, train stations. So they reported, Swami, they are talking about you, all this. Then Swami said, you guys are thinking about me, praising me only in your puja room. They are talking about me in public places, in the sportive way, how he took in the bus stands and train station. So don't react, that doesn't affect me. And Bhagavan Ramana is a beautiful example. Somebody wrote a letter to him criticizing Bhagavan Ramana. You are this, you are that. Then Ramana looked at that letter, he corrected the typos in that, he corrected the grammar and sent back. This man next to him was telling, Bhagavan, they are criticizing you there and you correcting the grammar and typos and sending back to him. He laughed. They are talking about a guy called Ramana. I am the one which is not affected. I am the Supreme Self. This comes for the body, mind. So that they are subject to change. So this doesn't. So that kind of attitude, even Lord Buddha saying that somebody gives it, give it back to them. If you take that attitude, nothing will affect. And finally, we need to remember the Swami's commandment. Manchi cheddalu kuda samamuga bhavinchute bhakti nav. If you are really a devotee, we should all verify ourselves. When somebody praises, you get elated. Somebody criticizes, you get depressed. And you get a profit, you get elated. You lose, you get depressed. You get success, you get elated. And you get failure, depressed. That means that is not devotion, Swami said. You need to maintain that samatva buddhi. He says that is very important. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Always you need to maintain that samabuddhi. That is what Swami emphasized that. That is how we should take criticism.
Beautiful. So I think your point is to make sure you keep your balance at all times. And I think the greatest of masters like Ramana and our own Swami lived and showed by their own example how we should practice this. On that note, I think we have a chance to take a couple more questions, Dr. Reddy. So if you're okay. Very often we struggle with controlling our mind, and we really want to focus on Swami, but the mind seems to come in the way. It diverts our thought, and one leads to the next, and we go from here to there. How can we control the mind and try to make it completely focus on Swami all the time?
Yeah, that is very, very important question for our spiritual seekers, and for people who are not aware. So Swami himself given a series of talks just on the control of mind in Prashanti Nilayam in the 80s. I was fortunate to attend those talks, which has come as Manasu Marmamu in Telugu. I think probably it is translated in English too, because Swami said that is the cause for our liberation and bondage. Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamochev. Mind is responsible for your liberation. Mind is responsible for your bondage. Swami gave a beautiful example. Key, if you turn to one side, it locks. If you turn to the other side, it unlocks. So the whole secret of mind control is taking the mind towards God. But it's not easy. That is why Arjuna, he's such a one-pointed man, great archer. He tells Lord Krishna, I can control the air in my hand, but I can't control my mind. Lord Krishna, which is our Sai Krishna, show me the way. Swami often talks about it. And Lord Krishna, the Lord himself says, Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam. He says, no doubt, my son, Mahabaho, great one, very difficult to control the mind because mind is fickle, whereas temporary jumps around. Then he says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chgurhyati. By constant practice, and by detachment, dispassion. These two are important. Practice and dispassion. Still you are attached to too many sense objects, worlds, you cannot focus the mind. First, you need to get that dispassion. Swami says in the Sutra Vahini, everybody should read, Atato Brahma Jijnasa. First is, after this qualification only you are eligible to know the truth of Brahman. What is that? First is Viveka. We already talked about. Second is Vairagya. That means dispassion towards worldly object. Otherwise, you can never go there. So first, she says, constantly practice and do the Vairagya. I can relate to this personally. We were there one time with the interview in the Swami's room. One young girl, she may be about 7-8 years old, but she was very sincere. She says, Swami, I'm trying to control mind. I can't. What to do? Swami gave a beautiful example. First, Swami says, like a little child is going all over. You don't try to catch the child. Just watch. Otherwise, you want to catch, it will go here and there. Just be a witness and watch what is happening. And second thing he said, like you are in your house, in front of your house, a truck full of jasmine flowers goes. You'll get a nice smell. And the next, a truck full of garbage goes. You will get bad smell. So you are not affected. Just these are passing clouds. So just watch the thing. That is number one. Second thing he told her is when you are learning cycling, in the beginning you do cycle, you fall, then you cycle, fall. A stage will come when you constantly practice, even without holding the handle, you can cycle. So because you have constantly practiced. So first is very important to have that practice, and second is not get involved. So control of the mind. That is what Swami says, watch the mind, don't catch the mind. Then first in the beginning we still the mind, and finally Swami said kill the mind, mano nasha, because once mind, first from bad thoughts you go to good thoughts and finally no thoughts. That is the stage of illumination. So that is why it's mind control is very important. Please go to those wonderful discourses Swami gave regarding mind and its control.
Beautiful. It is only through practice that this can be attained, and so never give up. I think very often we start and then we give up because we feel our mind is being diverted. But your guidance here is, keep at it, and and like Swami says, that's the only way you will reach the goal. The last question we'll take for this evening. Can you please share an experience of the power of prayer and chanting Swami's name? This is something all of us, as part of the organization, we are chanting Swami's name every day, so many times, and to not only to give us peace of mind, but also in the current situation with all that is going on in the world, to make sure that Swami is taking care of all of us together. So can you share a personal experience on the power of prayer and chanting Swami's name, Om Shri Sai Ram?
Okay, so first I want to remind myself and everybody, there is a powerful mantra, Om Shri Sai Ram. That is why as a part of the global sadhana, we have people chanting it 108 times at least. But as Swami said, if we have Sai's name on your lips, you are a Jivan Mukta. What more assurance we have? Just have, Swami himself wrote that if you have my name on your lips, so you are Jivan Mukta, you are liberated while alive. That is the way to self-realization. That is the way to Swami. I can tell you one instance, and then I will tell the significance of this Om Sri Sai Ram. So this happened in 1994. As I said, I was in Kodaikanal. So one day Swami suddenly said, we were with Swami spending few weeks, fortunate to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and go out with him. One day Swami said, Narendra, can you drive me? So suddenly I responded, Swami, I don't have international driver's license. By the time I realized my mistake, because when God is giving license, I don't need license from anybody else. But by the time I realized I wanted to say yes, already he gave chance to somebody else. I lost the chance. Then I was praying intensely to Swami, Swami, just for 2 days. Please forgive me and please give me another chance so that I don't go through my head, but practice my heart. So after a couple of days, Swami took us on a picnic in Kodaikanal. We were going on a picnic and I happened to be just behind Swami. So Swami, then he saw some poor women taking the firewood on their head. And Swami is like heart full of compassion and love. He wanted to give the money and he looked back. He says, I want to give 100 rupees to that lady. And Swami jokingly said, I don't have a pocket. See, I don't have money. If he wants, he can just, with his wave of his hand, he can create anything. So I was lucky and fortunate. I had 100 rupees I gave to Swami. I was very happy. Swami answered my prayers and soon he gave me the opportunity to be of service. So that happened. I want to conclude this, how your prayer answered. And then that evening when we had satsang and Swami said, Narendra, come, and he wanted to give money. I said, no, Swami, that is your money. Then he gave me a 500 rupee note, which we had a little tussle, but finally I accepted it as his prasad. And I said, Swami, this is the best thing. In few hours, 100 rupees multiplied 5 times, 500 rupees. So whatever we do for God, it multiplies. And he responds to our prayers. So just he did. That's why he said, take 1 step towards me, I'll come 100 steps. You shed 1 tear, I'll wipe. So that is the power of prayer. There is power. He responds and corrects your mistakes and give the opportunity. So I will conclude this. Om Sri Sai Ram is the most powerful mantra, my friends. Om itself is a pranava mantra. By itself, it can lead to liberation. Sri itself is a bija mantra. It can give us liberation. And Sai, we already talked about. Swami says, just have Sai, which is Divine Mother. And Rama itself is another powerful mantra. It is a combination of 2 mantras. Ra from Narayana mantra, which is the Ashtachari mantra, and Ma from Panchachari mantra, Namah Shivaya. So if you see how many mantras, the Pranava mantra, your Shri is the Bija mantra, and your Sai itself as Divine Mother, and Rama, which is a combination of both the Ashtachari and Panchachari mantra, because it is equal to chanting 1,000 names, they say when you say Rama. So we have the most powerful mantra, most powerful Sai's name. Let us always chant his name and be happy. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for spending the time this evening, sharing your wonderful thoughts and the message of Swami and all the love that Swami shared with you and with mankind so beautifully and succinctly this evening. I would like to express gratitude on behalf of all the viewers for the time you've taken to be with us this evening. Thank you again.